welcome back to the TV Cast, the show where we talk about TV shows, or I guess it's called streaming shows nowadays. And we don't care about spoiling them, I suppose, because it's also a spin-off of our Spoiler Cast podcast. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusty co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about the first episode of True Detective Season 4, aka True Detective Night Country.
Yes.
Woo,
I guess.
Woo, yeah, I don't know. This is our kind of sporadic podcast, because we don't, or at least I don't watch a lot of TV shows or streaming shows. But sometimes
I don't watch enough ones that are valid to talk about.
Yeah. But whenever there's something that we both of us actually want to watch, or something that might be like culturally relevant, we do a podcast about it. So right now it's True Detective. We're gonna cover every episode, I think.
As far as we like it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do with we always do this one. We start with the first episode and we keep watching for as long as we find it interesting. Yeah. If by the end or halfway through or whatever, if at any point we go, nah, then we just stop. I still haven't finished Last of Us.
Yeah.
I have like 3 episodes left, and I don't care.
Last year, we infamously gave up on The Last of Us because, unlike 90% of the world's population, we weren't fans of it.
No.
So, yeah.
I
did watch it, however. I finished it, but I told you it's not worth it. Because, like, even if it got a little bit better, it's still just a fucking video game, so why watch it? Just play the video game instead. Anyway, that's old stuff. Today, we're talking about new stuff. This, the first episode of Night Country came out yesterday?
On the 14th, technically.
Well, not on streaming platforms.
No, that's true, I guess. So yeah, yesterday, the 16th.
15th.
15th, it's 17 today.
It's a 17th today, yes. This is the hyped, the very, very hyped return of True Detective, which is kind of funny because it's a TV show that basically rests on the first season, and then this, everyone praises it as one of the best shows ever, but they're really only talking about the first season because the second season was so bad. I mean, partly because it had to follow up one of the best seasons of television ever made. I don't know what you think. We'll talk about that in a second. But even in a vacuum, season 2 is not good. It's all over the place. It's not at all as interesting. It's messy. It's more like a TV show, because True Detective season 1 is like a long movie, but that doesn't feel, stretched out,
Yeah.
Second season, I don't know. It was so bad. I have tried, I think, 3 times since it came out in, 2015 or 16, and I still haven't gotten past, the 3rd episode. It's so bad that I actually never even watched the 3rd season, which I heard was actually good. I think I, tried watching the first episode, and I was like, but I don't care, and I turned it off. However, we are going to cover all 4 seasons during this year. I am putting my foot down. We're doing all 4 seasons this year.
Okay. Was it a mistake then that I watched the entire first season in one day today?
we talked about this. I don't know. You decided to watch the whole thing. You didn't have to.
I watched 8 hours of True Detective non-stop today.
Yeah. But we'll get into that.
I've never binged a show like that. But sure.
Okay. We'll get into that in a little bit, but we should start actually talking about Night Country season or episode 1. It doesn't have a name, does it? It's just pilot, right?
It's part 1.
Part 1
on IMDb.
It's kind of boring because that's also something they used to have names of all episodes.
Thing is, I think episode. No, wait, that's not season 2.
You're looking at season 1.
I was trying to see all the episodes.
They're all just called part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's weird. It's only 6 episodes also.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good.
Maybe there'll be more. We don't know yet.
Well, anyway. Yeah. So part 1, the IMDb plot synopsis is: in Ennis, Alaska, the men that operate a research station vanish. To solve the case, detectives Danvers and Navarro will have to confront the darkness themselves and dig the darkness themselves. What darkness? This is bad. And dig into the haunted truths that lie buried under the eternal ice. Yeah.
You know what the synopsis is on Letterboxd?
No.
Researchers suddenly disappear. That's it.
I mean, that's.
I mean, it's kind of that.
Yeah. But let's just because certainly that's what it's about. The big mystery here is where did the researchers go? I mean, spoilers. We do find out by the end of the episode, but we don't know why they ended up where they ended
Exactly. Up. There's gonna be more to the mystery, obviously.
We should also say, since this is a spin-off of the spoiler cast, we are gonna spoil details.
Yes.
Sorry. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, watch it, and then watch
come
this.
back.
Yeah, and I can just tell you, I thought it was okay. If you want to hear what I think before we get into the spoiler stuff, I thought it was
I
fine.
Thought it was pretty good.
Okay, because that was going to be my next question. Then before we get into it, what did you think of episode 1 of Night Country?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It's I mean, it's the first episode, so
yeah.
I kind of thought the same thing about season 1. To be fair, like the first episode is hold up, as its own. It's not much, because you need the rest of the season to understand it fully.
I'm just I am so scared of talking about season 1 with you. Because this is also, this is you watching, I kind of didn't want you to watch the first season yet, honestly. I wanted you to go in, blank to the 4th season.
Well, I watched episode 1 of season 4 first.
Okay.
So I didn't have anything to compare it with. Okay. But then you started comparing them, and I was like, God damn it, I have to watch season 1 now.
Well, I had to compare a little bit,
Yeah, so I watched... It's your fault.
Sorry.
Either way, no, I think as the first episode, it's fine. It's not great, but it's enough to be like, oh, wait, but what is all this? What does all the mystery mean? Who's that person, and why do they do that? And...
Yeah.
Specifically, the lady who follows her dead husband, I assume?
Yeah, a ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know more about her.
Rosie Agnew or Agatha or something?
Agnew.
Agnew.
How to pronounce
it.
Played by
who is it? I recognized her.
Petunia. Harry Potter's aunt.
Right, that's who it is.
Yes.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, I'm giving away our discussion for the rest of the series, I suppose. As a ginormous fan of the first season, I thought this was, in comparison, pretty lackluster. This felt like any other fucking police procedural that our mom would watch.
Sure.
We talked to her as well, because she's
briefly.
She's a casual fan of True Detective. I think she's only watched the first season, like most people.
Yeah.
And she liked it. I know she liked it. But she's also she watches a bunch of police shows.
Oh yeah.
Not American police shows. A lot of British and Swedish or Nordic police shows.
Yeah, Nordic.
Which are different, slightly different.
Yes.
And she said that she thought it was good enough that she would keep watching.
Yeah.
And I agree. I want to keep watching, but the problem here is that I did not get the True Detective feeling, that thing that made the first season magic. This just felt like any other police procedural. There was nothing that stuck out. It was such a basic first episode, we gotta set up all these things and all these characters, because they're gonna play a part later because we have to fill 6 hours. But at the same time, it's 6 hours. Do you really have to fill it with that much stuff? There's the mine stuff. There's stuff, probably some shady business going on with the mine. You have the dead protester. You have what's her name? Navarro. What's the actress's name?
Carly Rae.
Carly Rae, who has some sort of dark past from her first tour in Afghanistan. They hint at some sort of car accident in Jodie Foster's character's back.
Liz
story.
Danvers, or
right?
Chief Danvers, I suppose.
Yeah. And they're setting up a casual relationship between Navarro and someone called Kanak or something. The guy in the store or the guy in the house with the most random sex scene ever.
Yeah. I don't even know who he is if I look at the cast list.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know. I have no clue.
They're setting up that Danvers' daughter is doing
who isn't
stuff.
really her daughter.
Isn't really her, but it's really not her daughter. So there's something going on there as well.
Yeah, and there's the relationship between the other police officers who happens to be father and son.
Yeah,
sure. Yes, there are a lot of.
And it's just like, oh, we gotta make sure we have enough for like an entire season here. But like, no, that is such TV writers' room thinking, and that is why I don't watch TV shows, because like, why do you don't need 12 different storylines?
I mean, they're all gonna, obviously, not all of them, but a lot of them are gonna intertwine in the end and become one giant plot line.
Yeah, but that's
storyline.
We don't need plot lines. I mean, what you do for TV show, but not for True Detective. True Detective is, I mean, if you want to continue what made the first season so successful, so revered, I mean, it's considered like a classic at this point already. I mean, there are people...
Well, then let's talk a little bit about season one. I'm sorry, but
we
kind of have to now because you are either you haven't watched the first season in a very long time, or you are misremembering things.
Last year.
Because they set up a few plot lines or storylines in the first episode of season one as well.
Okay,
you start off having
murder.
them.
Yeah, that's one.
You start off having them in separate interrogation rooms.
Yeah.
Which in the current time, then you get thrown back into the past and you see this girl being sacrificed.
Mm-hmm. That's still one plotline.
No, that's two.
No,
you have them in the interrogation room.
Both interrogations is about the Dora Lang case and also what was going.
They don't say that.
And what was going on in their lives around 1995.
See, I count that as a separate one because it entails more than just the case.
Yeah, but that's not plot, that's character building. And that's what's so different about season one. There's so much character-driven stuff.
The stuff we get to know about Navarro and Danvers are character building, because we only get to see past parts of their personal lives.
There's things that happen, like a mystery, like, oh, what was that accident we see for like 1 second?
Yeah,
what happened with the guy with half a head?
One.
No.
Because they also throw in a random plot line or storyline. I keep messing them up. Of the missing girl all of a sudden that has nothing to do with it.
Which missing
at girl? First. I don't remember her name now. She went missing before 95.
The football player with a brain injury.
Yes.
His niece. Yeah.
They mention her already in episode 1.
They mention, but okay.
Well, you don't know why.
Sure.
Because you don't see any connection.
No, I know.
Eventually, it ties in. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But not in the first episode.
Okay. Sure. Fine.
That's at least, in my opinion, that's 3 plot lines now.
Okay, I'll say.
And fair enough,
2.
We only
have. Turns out to be 1, but.
Yeah, it turns out to be. Thing is, all these things that we are seeing in episode 1 of season 4, they're gonna turn into 1.
All right, sure.
I mean, obviously.
But it felt, I don't know, it felt so, like, by the numbers, like we have to introduce these things. It didn't feel natural like it does in the first season.
The thing is, the first season is very character driven.
Yes, that's the whole thing. This season, it's really a story about like 2 detectives, about them.
Yes.
The murder just reveals
might have
who they
more
are.
To do with the town as a person, or as a character,
which is also very like TV show, because we have an entire town full of stories to be told. Yeah.
Yes. But I'm still thinking they're gonna boil down into like 1 or 2 tops.
We'll see.
It's all gonna be connected somehow.
Sure. I'll give you this. Let's say like it's similar in the fact that a lot of the plot lines might actually intertwine, and it's all connected to the Dark and the Salal station, whatever.
whatever they're researching.
Whoever's been awakened, because everyone keeps saying she's awakened.
Which I kind of just interpreted as winter or death or something.
Yeah.
But could also be a spirit.
It still felt much more forced.
A little bit, yes.
Much more TV series, like formulaic, tropey stuff, I think.
Sure.
That is what's so different about True Detective. The fact that two new detectives are interviewing two older detectives about a case because the file went missing after a hurricane. So we're just talking about old stuff, and as they're talking about this old case, what they're really doing is trying to figure out what's the deal with specifically Rust Cole.
Well, I mean, they were trying to figure out if Rust Cole was the culprit, really.
Yeah. And it's all...
He was the killer,
eventually. That's really all it is. And I'll agree, after the first episode of the first season, and I remember this even back then, because the first episode was just... it was just magic. It was like the best shit I've ever seen. It was like Breaking Bad all over again. Like, oh my god.
Let's not get into that discussion again. Yeah, sure.
But then, like, the second and third episode, it was just like, now it's just a cop show, because they're going around interviewing people, and it's just like, okay.
The fourth episode was completely unnecessary, in my opinion.
Excuse me?
The entire thing about the drug dealers and shit, I just found that so... It could have been cut out completely and wouldn't have messed up the story at all.
But that's...
They could have just had a name and followed him, and then they would have been at the place. They didn't have to have the entire thing with Ginger and him faking the bruises and Woody Harrelson's character, what's his name, Marty? Marty getting kicked out of the bar. Like, we don't care. We don't have to have that shootout. We don't care.
But all that is character stuff. That is just...
Is it though?
Yeah, because that's when he starts revealing stuff about himself. Like, I was... Because he mentioned that he was working undercover for a while. Like, more than the 6 months you're supposed to do, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He was, like, undercover for, like, several years. And that's partly why, he is the way he is. And then we see, like, what he was dealing with. And, like, that informs so much about him as a character.
Thing is, he already told us all that in detail, more or less, when he talked to the detectives. Not to Marty, but he talked to the other detectives about that.
Yeah, but we see him, like, faking needle like, track marks, and he gets into it. He just starts snorting a little coke, drinking copious amounts of alcohol just to fit in. And then we have that amazing one shot where they just run through the entire neighborhood.
Cinematography of that episode,
holy shit,
is good. But I found that entire scenario so unnecessary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't further the plot. It just informs the story.
Yeah. Oh. Which are things that we've already been told, not shown, but told.
Sure. I guess.
So it was just like, we know. He's just repeating himself to Marty now.
Yeah.
Technically beforehand, I suppose, because that took place in 95, which also fucking confused me about season 1. The fucking time jumps back and forth. God damn it. At one point, I was like, wait, what year is this? Where am I?
Well, it's pretty consistent. It's 2012, where they do an interview, and then it jumps back to 95.
Yeah.
That's the only... And then they fast forward...
Then it's 2002.
2002. Then that's after they think they cracked the case. When they kill the meth cookers in the woods and find the children.
Yeah.
Then it's 2002. And the 2012 interview jumps back to 2002. Until they have their little spat in the parking lot. And then it's all 2012 after that. We get some short glimpses of what happened after that, but not really.
Yeah, because the only thing that told me that it was a different year was Woody Harrelson's hair.
Yeah.
And even that sometimes just confused because it's like, wait, the kids are all grown up now?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Either way. I believe season 4 will have the same thing. It'll be multiple storylines or information dumps, I suppose, kind of, being tied together somehow. Like we're gonna get told that the car crash from Danvers' life that ended her with her I guess, adoptive daughter, has something to do with something that Navarro's friend or the girl who protested had to do something with. You know what? It's, like, it's all going to be connected somehow, because it's a little town, or kind of a small town, I guess.
Yeah.
It's Alaska. I mean, how big can it be?
It's pretty small, yeah.
And there's not a lot. It's not like there's. I think we have 6 main characters so far, or not main characters, but like big characters.
Yeah, which is
if you count Leia Danvers, the daughter.
Yeah, which I don't think we do, but yeah.
We don't. No, not really. So, and honestly, maybe it's 3 then. To be fair,
it's
Navarro, it's obviously Danvers, Navarro and Danvers,
and the 2.
And the 2 priors, I guess, but mainly the younger one.
Yes. So let's do this.
Rose is obviously going to be a bit more of an informer or something.
Yeah. Rose. I thought you meant Navarro's sister, who has.
Oh no, she's just going to be. She's just going to be a disturbance.
No. Let's talk about. Okay, let me before because like I said, it's good. So I'm going to talk before I crap all over it. Let's talk about what was actually good in it. Number 1, Jodie Foster is amazing. Like, it's just, I mean, it's not like her best performance, but it just shows how amazingly talented she is when she's so easily just makes it look so natural.
Yeah.
To play kind of a curmudgeonly cop, that's been stuck out here for 6 years. Yeah. Wonderful. Comparing to whatever her name is. What was her name? Kelly Rice.
Yeah.
Which I guess she's supposed to be a bit stoic, but it just comes off as, and I'm guessing this is like a microaggression / sexism. Like, she just comes off as a fucking bitch.
Might be the point though.
I guess, but it's also like it's extremely unlikable.
Because she's one of those cops who are she's focusing a lot on, like they mentioned, she wants she gets angry when it comes to
injured women.
Yeah, female victims.
Yeah.
Which is probably has something to do with her past.
Yeah, sure.
And her sister, most likely. She's also native of some sort to this area.
Is she though? I don't think she is, because she's called Navarro. That's like a Latin X name.
But it looks very... Well, that's true. They do look... This is going to sound weird, but to me, they all look kind of the same.
Hello!
You know what I mean, though.
I know what
We've talked about this before. It's hard to differentiate sometimes. Sure. I assumed she was indigenous or something.
I don't know, maybe. They don't really discuss it.
Last name, maybe she just didn't take her, like, indigenous last name. Maybe she chose her non-indigenous, because she's half, maybe?
I don't know.
Anyway. She obviously has, like, a strong connection to the place, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the people, and more so the people of color, and even more so women of color.
Yeah.
So it has to do something with her past. She's been through something, obviously.
Yeah.
Which made me think of that movie we watched after Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, Wind River.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made me think of that. Well, this entire episode made me think of that movie.
Yes, me too. Because they had a lot
miners.
You even had
indigenous women disappearing.
Yeah, and you had the music was kind of like people whispering in the native language. Like,
yeah,
and you're like, this is Wind River.
Basically.
Yeah.
But I like that movie, so I'm gonna like this.
Yeah. Sure.
Season probably.
Second thing, it looks pretty good for the most part.
Yes.
Like the cinematography, and the production of it looks good.
Third, I very much like the hinted at supernatural element.
Yeah, I do not like that.
I like that. I thought season 1 would have something supernatural,
but it does no.
No, because I read that somewhere, like, it merges the real and the supernatural in such a something good way, whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, where's the supernatural stuff? There's no. This is just religion.
Yeah, exactly. Like there is enough fear and wonder in real life that we don't need fantasy.
Sure,
that's what I think.
But the supernatural element in season 4 might be more of a folklore thing and still
yeah,
be
but I mean,
humans.
it's
We don't know
like,
yet.
but they have put ghosts on the screen.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which is like
Could just be hallucinations,
of
which
course, but
happens in season 1 too.
yeah, but then he recognizes them as hallucinations. When he sees the birds in the first episode, or when he starts seeing the colors, when he's going to the prostitute to get some pills, like
when he starts seeing his daughter standing on the side of the road,
he sees a child.
I'm assuming that's his daughter.
I think it's just a child.
Oh,
and it reminds him of his daughter. We don't actually see anything supernatural. I guess he sees the vortex in the end, but once again,
yeah,
that's because his brain is fried from all the drugs.
Yeah, and Rose sees her dead husband because she misses him because he died tragically, most likely.
But the ghost also showed her where the bodies were. That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't mind supernatural stuff, though.
Yeah, but I mean, True Detective was never about supernatural stuff.
Why was that something I read somewhere then?
That's because the first season has like some Lovecraftian elements, but there's nothing supernatural about it.
The yellow prince
yellow
leader
king,
or whatever.
Which is a character that appears in Lovecraft stuff.
Yeah, and the city that they talk about is also Cthulhu and stuff.
Yeah, Carcosa, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, that's just stuff that rich weirdos use as an excuse to have sex with children, which we find out that's what it always boils down to.
Like normal priests.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it always, which is a bit of an anticlimax, but that's that in the first season they're like, oh, okay, yeah, god damn it, of course it's this.
It's just religion and people using religion as a tool to do whatever the fuck they want and rectify it.
But it's good, but it's fine because at that point you are so invested in the characters. Because that's what the whole thing is about. Especially after they, quote unquote, solve the case out in the woods with the meth cookers.
Yeah.
They solved it. They kind of think they actually solved it because they found the guy. He had a tattoo and he talks about time being a flat circle and everything.
Yeah.
But
and they found the kids.
And they found the kids, but they couldn't be totally sure. That's why between.
Both died.
Yeah, and between 95 and 2002, it keeps eating at them. Like, did we actually? I think so, but I'm not sure. And then that guy, Cole, is interrogating, mentions the Yellow King.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the what? Excuse me? And he starts beating him up,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, and I think he even says, like, you never caught him, And,
he does say that.
Yeah, and that's... and that brings it all back, I think that is, and that's also very like indicative of the name of the show, True Detective, is that like, despite all the other stuff going on, in the end, what matters is to like do the right thing.
Sure, but that's episode 5 out of 8.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
When we get to that point, so you're judging one episode versus an entire season, which isn't fair.
I know. It's unfair. We'll do a comparison of both seasons when they're done in, I guess, then 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, or something.
Sure. So, yes, I know. And that's kind of why I didn't want you to watch the first season all the way through. You could have watched like one episode or something. But that's...
I mean, you still would have made the comparison, though.
I guess. Yeah.
And I would have just sitting there and go, huh? What are you talking about?
Okay. Sure.
So, what else do you like about season 1?
Yeah.
Episode 1. Season 4, episode 1. Jesus Christ. Is there anything else you like? Or is it just like, the camera work and the actors?
I think so far the plot is mildly interesting.
You're not curious as to how the researchers ended up in the ice with their hands and their faces like that? Because how do you instantly freeze in that position? Unless it's, Ghostbusters Frozen
the Death
Kingdom.
Chill. Which, by the way, I found out they did change the name of that movie. Because I saw, I don't know, sorry for the tangent here, but we recently went to the cinema and watched Anyone But You, episode coming on Saturday. Unless you're on patreon.com/don'tmakescene, you can listen to it like today. We saw, they showed the trailer for the new Ghostbusters movie, and I remembered it called Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
But then it said Frozen City, and I was like, did they change the name? And you weren't sure?
I didn't even look, but yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as the trailer came on, I like stared somewhere else.
And I kind of forgot about it, but then on the way home, I think the same day, yeah, I threw on Chris Stuckman's like most anticipated movies of 2024, and I remembered why I don't watch him anymore, because he's a fucking bitch. He mentioned Ghostbusters, and that video was like 10 days old or something, and he called it Frozen Empire. So I was like, ha, they did change it for some reason. Anyway, sorry about that. Back to Night Country. I am intrigued, but if it turns out that it is supernatural, I'm gonna hate it, because I don't want True Detective to be supernatural. If it was like X-Files or its own, if it was just called Night Country, well, sure, go ahead. Make it supernatural. Bring in fucking dragons and demons and shit. I don't care.
That's just... did you watch season 2 and 3?
No. Like I said, I watched like the first 3 episodes of season 2. I barely watched episode 1 of season 3.
Do we know if they have anything supernatural in them?
They don't.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay. Fine.
As far as I know, people don't mention it like out. There is like, just like the first season, there's like hints. Like the first episode of season 2 is called Western Book of the Dead, and there's this corpse driving around in a car, being driven around in a car, and there's like a weird hippie sex cult involved. But there's not actually anything supernatural involved.
No, but they are alluding to the fact that this religious cult could be...
Exactly, religion is involved.
It could be supernatural, though, because they could be actually... I mean, religion is supernatural, generally.
Yeah.
If you want to be harsh about it.
But from what I understand, just like the first season, we find out that like man is the worst beast.
I'm assuming we're going to do that here in season 4 as well.
I hope so. But there is a lot of supernatural hints. Like,
sure.
What is this? She's awakened. Why do people keep hearing it over like the radio and stuff?
Yeah, that is a bit weird.
And
maybe it's a collective drug mess up or something. Maybe they're all high. Yeah. Maybe it's something about going crazy when there's no sunlight or.
Yeah, I mean that's what it should be
like
about.
That.
Yeah, because they mentioned like 3 days of dark, and we're already getting like crazy stuff going on.
Yeah,
sure. But that's like, but what I'm having problem with here is that the only thing that keeps me what I want to come back to is the plot. But the plot should be what drives a show like this, or a True Detective show. It should be the characters, and I'm not really that intrigued by the characters.
Well, I have to bring back season 1 a little bit then.
Yeah?
Because I kept watching because I wanted to find out if there were more of these religious sacrifice thingies. If they're out, because it looked very pagan or Druic in the iconography.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe there's like druids and shit, or at least people who think they're druids.
Yeah. No, and then
so I was more intrigued finding out that than the characters of Rusty and Marty or whatever.
Okay. Don't call him Rusty. Rusty! No, it's Rustin. It's Rustin or Rust. I don't think you want to be called Rusty. Anyway, sorry.
Whatever, Cole then.
Yeah, Cole, yeah.
Detective Cole, and I don't remember Marty's last
By the
name.
way, the greatest name ever, Rust Cole.
Yeah.
But then also, you know what also...
And who tastes color? What the fuck?
It's synesthesia. That's a thing. That's real.
It's still weird. Sure.
That happens. Like,
sure.
There where senses get, there's like misconnections. There are people who can like, I think he mentions numbers as well, right? That he can like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know people can like taste numbers and stuff like that. Like when they see a 7, vanilla.
I'm sorry.
Because your brain is broken. The same
how
way.
has they proved that? I can tell you that 7 tastes like chocolate if I want to.
Yeah.
How are you going to disprove me?
Because if they do a CAT scan and you see number 7 and your olfactory senses doesn't react in your brain, then you're lying. That's why. Because it's all chemicals, Rebecca, in your brain.
Yeah, sure.
It's all electrical impulses and chemicals. So yes, they can measure that.
Yes.
Anyway. Okay. Well. Also a thing that makes you really... Let's say you just watched the first episode of season 1. We don't find out a lot about the characters there. We do get some, though. We know that...
A little bit, yeah.
Marty is the typical family man. Like, he's the stable guy. I mean, that's what he calls himself. Like, he's just a regular dude. With a big-ass dick, for some reason. Because, he has to humble brag, which is also... later on...
That proves even more that he's a regular dude because he's insecure and he's very afraid to talk about his emotions.
Yes. Thank you.
So he has to joke it off by talking about how big his dick is.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
So we just have a little bit of glimpse into them as characters. We see that Marty deals with it by being just emotionally unavailable in general. And we see the Russ deals with it by drinking.
In the interrogation room, you mean?
No, or when he gets invited to dinner, because that's the first episode.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
and he just turns up
a
fucking
snippet of it.
Yeah,
in the first episode.
He mentioned he'd been sober for years, and that's just oh, dinner with my partner. Fuck that! Just gets stone drunk, hammered. Yeah, exactly. So let's say we don't get too much information about them there, but what makes you want to find out more is the performances, specifically Matthew McConaughey. That might be one of the best written characters ever.
Sure.
The dialogue is amazing.
But not solely based on the first episode.
Really? Are you kidding me?
No.
Every line that he has there is perfect.
What makes me interested in his character in the first episode is the fact that we get the juxtaposition between 2012 and 95.
Yeah, that too.
He looks
what happened
very
in
different.
between.
Yes, we want to find out what happened in between. But that's using time jumps to want us to be interested.
You're allowed to.
Then you're allowed to use info dumps.
Yeah, but that's not fun. That's just I don't know.
It's technically season 4, episode 1. I'm gonna keep calling it that because it's difficult to
say Night Country.
Night Country episode 1, right? Does that without having info dumps. It's small happenings. They're just going about their days basically.
Yeah.
And all these random stuff happen to them, and then you get to know a little bit about them from regular occurrences.
Yeah, but
basically.
okay, sure. But there's no great dialogue in this. There's no it's Thursday. Thursday is my day off. I start drinking at noon. Give me a 6-pack of Lone Star. Nothing snooty. Or, hey, you can't smoke in here, and you just...
Yeah, and unfortunately that has most likely to do with the fact that we don't have the same writer.
Yeah.
And the woman who wrote Night Country
Issa Rae,
is... is not as... she doesn't have a... No, Issa López.
Issa López, sorry. Where did Issa Rae from? Oh, that's an actress. Issa Rae, right.
She doesn't have a lot of stuff that we would recognize or would even call good, I suppose.
No.
She has about 19 previous credits as a writer.
And
12 as a director.
Oh, right. She has done some stuff in her... Where's she from? She's from Mexico. She's done a bunch of Mexican stuff.
Yes.
So I have no idea. I've never watched any of it.
Hey, maybe that's why Navarro is Mexican then, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I think too. The only thing that I barely recognize is Tigers Are Not Afraid. I think I've seen that title somewhere. It's a movie, right? Yeah, it's Shudder. Yes, I've heard people talk about that. I haven't seen it though. Although, I don't know what Nick Pizzolatto had done before True Detective. I know he had done something. That's why he got the green light. Like, hey, I have this idea I've been working on for 10 fucking years. But as a writer, all right, he wrote a couple of episodes of The Killing.
Yeah, and The Magnificent.
I'm thinking before 2014. That's about it. Was he like a producer or something? Nope.
No.
So I guess he was kind of untested as well. How did he
how did he get this job?
Yeah, how did he land that? He said, right. Oh, he wrote the Galveston novel. I thought he just wrote the script for the movie. No. He wrote the book, which is a good book, Galveston. That's very, very much the same kind of feeling as first season of True Detective. Very, kind of modern Western almost. Super dark. From the deep south, Well, it's Texas, so it's not deep south.
Is he from the south?
I don't know.
Yeah,
he's born in
Southwest Louisiana.
Yeah, so that's why he's got a bit of that Creole in him.
Yeah, probably.
So he's a novelist. That definitely shows as well. Like his dialogue is so good.
Yeah,
and the way he can write so different, like the way Marty talks and the way Russ talks, the way the two police officers, we don't hear a lot of their dialogue, but we hear some definitely towards the end of the show. Their dialogue, all characters sound so different. They're so distinct from each other.
I wouldn't be that dramatic when it comes to like everyone else, but Rusty and Marty.
All right, sure, but at least them two then.
Yeah, because everyone else is just like, oh, it's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine but darker. It's good cop, bad cop with the two detectives who are interrogating them, and everyone else is just oh no, what are the names in Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Scully and
the two worthless cops.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
They're all just sitting around being fat and looking through magazines. Yeah. Come on. No other cop in that entire precinct in True Detective season 1 does anything.
No, because it turns out some of them, at least one of them, are in on it.
Yeah, no, a bunch of them probably.
Yeah.
Or at least they're being paid off to not care.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're not true detectives.
Yeah, I guess.
You can't just buy Marty and Rust's allegiance or loyalty.
Especially not Rust, because he is kind of new there.
Yeah, he transferred I think it's like 5 months before the show starts. 3 previous cases was all open and shut.
Exactly.
He said that
I am at least excited about season 4. I want to know what happened. How the hell did the researchers end up in the ice? What was that pink parka there somewhere?
Yeah. Well,
are they connected?
Oh yeah, we do see that pink parka when the guy walks in and starts shaking, and he turns around and says, "She's awakened." He's wearing that pink parka. He's wearing the jacket.
That's true. He is. No.
Okay. He's also the guy wearing.
That's why you need to rewatch certain episodes sometimes.
Yeah. That was also something I did not like about this. It felt so forced. There was a bunch of like Easter eggs. Not specifically harkening back to like season 1, but like similar. First of all, like things this is like based on or kind of homaging. Like you see in the shelf of DVDs next to the TV in the beginning. You see a copy of The Thing on DVD. It's like, research station on the ice. Like, we get it.
You don't think they would have brought it there as like a joke?
Sure, but it's a little on the nose that you like see it specifically.
I didn't even realize it was there, to be fair.
I actually saw it the first time. I was like, oh, come on, bro. What the fuck? And then...
But I'm thinking the person who put on, is it Ferris Bueller's Day Off that they're playing on the TV?
Yeah.
they were just like, yeah, I'm gonna bring another one that's gonna be fun to bring.
Sure.
Which is, haha, we're researching ice. Watch the thing with me.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, that's literally a Big Bang Theory joke. It's like this should be in a different level of writing. You shouldn't do that.
Sure.
Because they literally make that joke in season something 2 or 3 of Big Bang Theory. Because they go to a North Pole research station and they bring 2 movies: Ice Station or Research Station Zebra and The Thing. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, then when Navarro goes to the missing lady's brother's house.
Yeah.
And he offers her a beer, he drinks a beer. He drinks Lone Star, which is like, ugh. Like, sure, it's just a beer, but it's the same beer as Rust drinks. Like, you could have picked any other. They're obviously picking it because, it's the same. But he drinks the red label from a bottle instead of the... No, it's the red label as well, but it's cans in them. Season 1. And I was just like... Ugh. Because it's a look, it's the meme, it's the soy face.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. I think only fanboys like you would notice that.
Yeah, but I didn't like it because I think it's cheap. You know, I don't like fan service, so.
Yeah, sure, but
I don't like that in anything.
No one else is gonna notice it.
Oh, please, you don't. The people. I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say Twitter was raving. No, but a lot of people noticed. Also, another thing, which is. It's like I said, it's not specifically a Easter egg from the show or something, but when they're checking the research station, I think it's Danvers who picks up a book from a bed, and if you like you blink and you miss it, but it is a copy of Blood Meridian, which is also very it's one of those books that not specifically inspired True Detective, but it's the same kind of like existential angst kind of writing. It's Cormac McCarthy.
Is it one of the books that Rusty had in his apartment?
No, it's not. Do not call him Rusty again, please. Respect the man more than that.
No.
Detective Cole.
No, he's Rusty.
No.
Because the subtitles called him Rusty.
Oh
so
my
stuck
god!
With me now.
Okay. No, but it's one of those books, and especially like that the literally me bros who watch like Drive and they watch all the David Fincher movies and stuff like that. They're kind of the same group or the same crowd that loved the first season of True Detective.
Sure.
Because I think you could call Rust Cole a literally me character.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They love Blood Meridian. They love Cormac McCarthy, who wrote that book, because he also wrote No Country for Old Men, which is super literally me.
Yeah.
He also wrote The Road, which is like one of the darkest stories ever written, together with Blood Meridian. So the fact that they have that in there is like... It feels a bit on the nose to have that in there.
Sure.
But
I mean, the characters who brought that shit, they're dead, so... maybe that's like a... Except for the beer, I guess. Maybe that's like a... Yeah, we bring it up to, like, kill it off, because that shit's not gonna be in the rest of the show.
I hope not. Oh, they'll have, however, and that they hinted about even in the trailer, and you do see part of it.
I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh. You know the spiral symbol that keep appearing in season 1?
Yeah.
You see like part of that symbol. It's tattooed on, I think, the lady who got murdered.
Okay.
Yeah, when you see the pictures from the coroner's report, where you see the body with all the stab wounds, I think you see that symbol. You see part of that symbol on her body. Yeah, exactly.
So it's the same lunatics.
Mm-hmm. And in the
Cthulhuists. That's not what we call them.
Cultists. And in the trailer, we literally see that symbol being painted on a huge wall, and it's just like, are they gonna try and tie it into the first season? Like, ugh, that feels even worse.
Well, that I hope
I
not.
really hope not.
That would ruin it.
Yeah.
Because then they would fall into the curse of American Horror Stories.
Yeah, which ruined everything.
Way too soon.
Yeah.
Because the first, 5 seasons are very separate.
6 even, which is
6
the political episode season.
Yeah, and then they start merging shit. And that ruined it. We've talked about this
8.
before.
Yeah, that's when they did. And that's but hey, happens to be the worst season also,
Yeah. And I'm afraid because True Detective have had the same sort of well, first of all, the same structure.
Yeah, it's an anthology series. Each
but also the same, like the HBO stuff being very edgy, so to speak.
Yeah.
Wait, is American Horror Stories, was that HBO?
No, it's not HBO.
No, that's FX.
Yes, but they
Either way,
they allow
but
swear word. They allowed to be very edgy as well. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the edgy stuff, the being true and dark and like we do what we want kind of thing, and touching on subjects that other shows aren't really other production companies aren't as willing to do because, it might alienate people.
Exactly. We want to bring
draws a specific crowd,
Yeah.
becomes a little bit of a cult thing.
Yes.
I'm afraid that True Detective is going to suffer the same fate eventually if they keep making seasons under the True Detective name.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's almost like, because this is like, it's like sequels now. It's just like you're milking it. You're diluting what made the first season so special.
They could have just gone with an HBO original, called it Night Country, and that's it. They didn't have to have True Detective. However, they might get accused of copying True Detective then, because of but there's 2 detectives, and you followed their lives through a specific case.
But like I said,
but there are a few other shows.
Yeah, that's like
that
every cop show. And that's what I mean with this. It does not stick out. It does not feel like True Detective. It feels like just any other cop show.
I'm gonna watch season 2 and 3 to see if they also feel like True Detective or just
they
any
don't.
other
That's
cop
the problem.
show.
None of the season, or at least not season 2. I don't know. Like I said, I have barely watched season 3, but it doesn't feel like it does not hit that thing that made the first season so special.
Does season 2 and 3 have like a subtitle in the name?
No.
They're also just True Detective.
Yes, they're just called True Detective. I think this is kind of also to differentiate this. But at the same time, it feels like they're tying it to the first season even more than the other did. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going for.
Because then I would have just wanted like the first season be called True Detective, the second season be called whatever the fuck that is called, third season be called something else, and then fourth season be called Night Country.
Yeah.
And because that would separate them even more.
Yeah.
We've been babbling on for so long, which is not normal for when it comes to the TV cast.
We're still under an hour though, which we usually do.
Sure.
We should try to hit like 56 minutes, so you can use this as a commentary track for the first episode. Let's go for that. So we just need to
terrible commentary track then, I suppose, because it's not talking about the show that much.
No, but honestly,
the episode. I mean,
there's not that much to talk about. Well, okay, no,
well, there are a few things I want to touch on that we haven't touched on.
Yeah, me too. Another thing that just makes me not interested in, like, because I was going into that when I'm talking about the writing and the characters being interesting. Like I said, I didn't think these characters were terribly interesting. Not because, they obviously have a dark past and stuff like that, and I love that stuff. But the how it was introduced was not that interesting. And also, one thing that I think really sticks out with Marty and Rust in season 1 is that they are, like, from the beginning, really, like, unlikable. They're sexist, they're racist, they're like typical fucking guys throughout the show. And at points it's like hard to sympathize with both of them, really. I mean,
but you felt like they tried to make Navarro and Denver likable?
I'm getting to that, yes. However, at the end of the day, as much as you dislike them, you have to respect the characters for their dedication. I mean, that's what makes them true detectives.
Sure.
Once again, that's the whole point. Like, the show is sort of summed up in, I think it's the first episode, when Marty asks Rust, like, do you think you're a bad man? Or do you think we're bad men? No, maybe it's not the first episode. Doesn't matter. He says, of course.
I think that's the second
yeah,
episode.
of course we are. I know we are. But it's bad men who keeps the worst at bay, or something like that. The monsters at bay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and that's what makes them interesting. Like, 'cause at the core, it's like bad men doing good things. That's interesting. That's challenging. For an audience. Like, are we cheering on this like misogynist asshole? But he still gets the job done though. It's hard for I mean, imagine if that show came out this year. Oh my god.
That wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
But I'm sorry. I think you're just like you're I don't know. You're just fangirling too much here. 'Cause no, they're not. You don't care about the characters in the first episode. I don't care about the characters throughout the season at all. Really, Rust Cole is a pessimistic. And, he's just, using fancy words and lines on everyone, trying to confuse them, thinking he's better than everyone.
Yeah.
And he continues to do that throughout the entire season. Yeah. Marty is a cheating asshole that never changes.
No, yeah.
So why do we care? We don't.
No, it's not that we should care about them. That we should respect them.
But Marty doesn't even do a lot of... Rust is the only one who does any of the work, and he's only doing it because he's fixating on it.
Yeah.
He's making which Marty points out in the first episode. He's making assumptions and going on those, not focusing on actual facts.
Turned out to be true, though. It's more or less everything he mentions.
It's pure happenstance that he happened to realize, but this is probably some sort of cult shit,
because
and religion
he has seen it
awful.
Before, but that's not the point.
Where?
Huh?
Where has he seen it before?
In his books, he's read about this. In his books, yeah. And he's worked in the criminal underground. Like, he has seen shit.
Yeah, but that's just that. Oh my god!
But that's
the kind of people who read books.
What you're saying is,
get judged for having.
What you're saying is true, but that does not take away from what I said, that they are bad people. However, they stick with the thing they're supposed to do, and it took 17 years, but they solved it. They got the guy.
Sure.
And that's the thing. That's what makes them. That's the name of the show, True Detective.
Yes, and then we're back to comparing an entire season to one episode.
Okay, sure.
I don't like Denver. She is a cold-hearted bitch.
Yeah, but she's just she's not, I mean, whatever.
She's not philosophical, no. She's not philosophical and deep like Rust.
Whatever, okay.
She's just a cold-hearted bitch. She doesn't care. She just wants to do her job, and then
Navarro is
solving the mystery, and Navarro is a cold-hearted bitch in a different way, because she doesn't care about anyone else, really, except for women of color. She's borderline reverse racist in the way she acts.
Yeah, a little bit, I suppose.
White men are... Yeah. She, as a cop, messes with a white man's car because he hit a woman.
Yeah, which is
bullshit.
Yeah. But that's what I mean, that's...
I hate the characters for what we've seen so far.
But
I'm very intrigued about the mystery and the case,
yeah, but
though.
When she pours the Baileys into the gas tank into the truck, that is not to make that is not supposed to make the audience go, oh, what an asshole for ruining that guy's car. No, it is literally a Yas Queen moment.
As a woman, I would disagree.
What? It's the guy who beat up the girl in the crab factory.
Yeah.
And she hears...
I still thought it was wrong.
Yeah, sure. But you know what I mean, though. It's technically wrong. But
sure.
Yeah, it's a you slay queen. It's, That's what it is. That's what the character is.
Yeah, I guess.
So like,
I guess
it's a means to an end thing. Like, we're not supposed to think like, oh, she's an asshole. No, she stands up for what's right. She does not let that woman's life go to waste. Blah blah blah. Like,
I would have thought so if she turned around and talked to him instead. If she like, yo, you're an asshole. Shut the fuck up. You don't touch her. If you ever touch her, I'm gonna book you in. Something like that instead. But no. She goes the chicken route and pours alcohol in his tank, ruining his car, like completely.
Yeah, but
which is even worse because that is also gonna punish the woman. That's not gonna save her.
No, not at all.
Booking him might have.
That's just make him even more angry.
Exactly, booking him away might have saved her at least for a night or two.
But you see what I mean? Where
sure,
it's still a yes. You go, girl moment.
The strong independent woman thing. Yeah, whatever.
Which, since this is true, is True Detective, I want our main characters to be bad guys. They're not bad guys. They're just whatever with a dark past.
I think they're a bit bland and boring, but they're also just cops so far.
Yeah. So, to sum it up,
everything we've said has been bashing on season 4 and praising you praising season 1. I don't think it's fair to judge it yet, so I'm gonna keep watching because I want to know how the fuck they ended up in the ice. I want to know about the polar bear with the missing eye.
Yeah, sure.
If that has a connection to her squad mate losing half her face in Afghanistan or wherever she was. Yeah. If that was a hallucination or if that actually happened or whatever. I want to know more about whoever is coming. I want to know if that tongue actually belonged to the activist.
Yeah.
Or if it's another woman who's gone missing.
Like I said, I thought it was decent. I'm intrigued enough that I'm going to keep watching. Also, a bit spurned on by the fact that we're going to talk about it on the podcast,
Sure.
But like I said, it's a 6 out of 10.
I might do the mistake of I just went out of focus of binging season 2 and 3 though. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Try not to. So you can keep like focus on season 4 instead.
Yeah, but it's like a week till the next episode.
Yeah, I know. Like it used to.
What am I gonna watch in between? I can watch 2 seasons in between.
You could finish 2 seasons in this weekend if you want to.
Yeah,
but I don't think that would help. Watch something else. Do something else. Watch maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but not more than that, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to. Well, at the same time, I want to do like episodic, episodes for each episode of the other seasons as well. So I don't want to like start rewatching everything right now. I might do that just to like actually have it, before I actually talk about it.
No, we'll decide that off camera, I suppose. We don't have to put that in the episode. But for now, yes, we'll keep watching.
Yeah, we'll keep watching. We'll be back next week for episode 2 called Part 2.
Yes. Yes.
And we'll see what kind of ghosts and scary goblins show up to help them solve the case.
Yeah.
One-eyed polar bears and, I don't know, men. Oh, that was another thing, which also felt, it works, sure, but also it was just like, sorry, I'm sorry if this is sexist or whatever, but it was so obvious a woman wrote this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, yes,
the thing in the beginning when Danvers and the two cops, the father and son cops, what were their name? Sortis?
I have the episode list. Pryor.
Right, Pryor. When they're investigating the Salal station, and she looks at the laundry, she looks at the sandwich, she looks at the tongue, and like, oh yeah, like the ham is super processed, it'll survive the apocalypse, but the mayonnaise is turned into syrup. That happens after only just a couple of days. You know that when you It was like these, like, I don't know what you call it in Sweden, or in English. It was husmorstips. Because she's a lady who's been, she's made sandwiches for her kids going to school. Like, she knows things about mayonnaise.
I mean, yeah, she points out that he's
done
not
laundry, so she knows that if you leave wet laundry in the basket or whatever, it's going to start stinking after at least a couple of days, It's like, oh.
She points out that he's not a picking up from school kind of dad.
And the man wouldn't know anything about cooking or cleaning. It was just like, come on.
I mean, yes, that was a bit annoying, but at the same time, would you have thought of that?
No, I wouldn't.
I would have.
Yeah.
Because I know laundry starts stinking if you leave it in the washing machine, even if it's clean, it starts stinking.
But at the same time, wet clothes smell after a while if you don't dry them. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I would have. And if I'm a cop, if I'm a detective, my brain should register that.
But he didn't.
No, because he's like,
that's written.
Oh my god!
And he's written by a woman.
Sure. I don't know things about laundry.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few of those, like pointing out the fact that he painted the room blue, but it was the wrong kind of blue, obviously.
That was,
he didn't consider. She said her favorite color was blue, so he just picked a blue one. He didn't ask for shades or anything.
But you know what? From my perspective, I thought that was a glimpse into him. Like, oh, he does actually care. It just turned out that it was the wrong shade.
But it's the well, we don't know that yet, technically, but it's the classic male, like, oh, I wish I had this, and they just do that specific, that very generic thing without checking for specifics.
Sure, yeah.
Which is very annoying as a woman.
Yeah, because,
ask for details if you can't figure it out. It is the thought that counts, but Jesus Christ, if you know the woman, you should know her shades. Like, if I say I like green, you should know which kind of green. If
well, then just don't say green.
For my lovely boyfriend in the background.
Say what kind of green. Say moss or.
Do you know what olive green is specifically?
Yeah, sort of. Olive drab. Yeah.
What's the shade of your T-shirt?
This is like.
What would you call that?
I'd call this forest green.
I will call. Well,
it's not olive.
What's the word in English?
This is too deep.
No, it's almost like murgröna. What's it in English?
Vine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
in my opinion.
Yeah, like it's almost like you could, if you want to be super pretentious, I'll call this taiga, because it's a pine forest.
Yeah, it's pine green almost. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
well, you know what I'm getting at.
I know what you're getting at, and but also,
and that is obviously a man written by a woman to be a bad man, not a good man written by a woman, because you can, you know the meme, like, a man written by a woman.
Yeah.
Have you? Yeah. This is the opposite of that. This is when they write a deliberately bad man, because this is like the don't be like this guy kind of thing.
And to be fair, that was criticism that the first season did get, that most of the female characters are kind of shallow.
Oh yeah,
but that's also because
there's nothing to
them. They don't really have a place in the story, because in the end, what's important is the case, because they're true detectives. But that's also why he loses his family. That's why he loses his lover. That's why Rust can't stay with one woman, because in the end, they're not made for that.
No, and also there's no female main character in season 1, because the two main characters happen to be dudes, and they're women in their life, but they're side characters. Why would they be fully developed?
Yeah, exactly.
It is a bit annoying that there's at least, I mean, despite a lot of the background characters being hookers in general, two women are just daft enough to just hook up with a married man. And they're the only two women that we really get to talk about, except for the wife.
That's
like, come on. And even the wife uses sex with the best friend as a weapon, which is also
I know, that's
such a male thing to write.
I know. But I mean, it's not unheard of in real life. women using their feminine ways to get what they want. I mean, I'm sorry. That's true.
The same way as a man not understanding different shades of blue is true.
Yeah, absolutely. I know.
side characters are not often very deep, and they shouldn't be,
No.
because we need to focus on the main characters and the main plot. So I'm not complaining about that.
But the difference there is, the man who wrote the first season could at least see the faults in his main characters. He made them flawed. He made them bad. And I mean,
that might still be the case in season 4.
We'll see. It feels. I don't want to say Mary Sue. They're not Mary Sue characters, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I actually like these characters are good and strong and brave and.
Navarro feels a little bit like that.
Yeah.
She's the one we're supposed to root for. She's the one who's gonna be the hero in the end somehow, because it feels a little bit almost virtue signaling. Because she's the advocate for female safety or whatever and all that. She punishes men for being bad men to women. Yeah, but I hate that kind of character.
And I didn't really want to
bad.
I really didn't want to complain about that, and I'm trying not to complain too much because it's not. I don't care that much, because this was getting like shit from the knee-jerk reactionaries on YouTube right away because like, a lady has written this about two ladies. It's woke. It's woke.
It is a little bit woke.
It is a little bit,
but it's also the first season came out in
2014.
14.
10 years.
10 years have passed. Media has evolved. People have evolved in general. Like, we have very different points of views when it comes to politic points of views and all that stuff. Politics are bigger than religion at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah.
In society than it was back in 2014.
It's kind of funny because it changed pretty quickly after the first season. 2016, we're kind of...
Sure.
Politically, we're kind of stuck in 2016 still.
Yes, but when he wrote the first season, the religious aspect was much bigger than the political one. So that we're getting a more political season, I don't blame the writer specifically. That's just society.
Yeah.
That a woman writes 2 female lead characters, we write what we know.
Yeah.
We say that before.
I don't have a problem with them being female characters. I just wish they were more interesting. Sorry.
Maybe they will be.
Like, I didn't watch the entire show because, once again, it was a goddamn cop show. But I don't know if it was HBO or whatever it was, but it was a show a couple of years ago called Mayor of Easttown, with what's her name? Kate Winslet. It was a pretty brutal show about like a teenage girl being murdered in the woods or something. I know our mom watched it, of course.
Mayor of Kingstown?
No, Mayor. M-A-R-E. Mayor.
Oh.
As female horse. Or a nightmare. Right. A mara. Mayor of Easttown. But that was an interesting character. And, just to show that, like, it's not just because they're women. That was a female character who was very, very interesting to watch. Because it had those things I like in the main character. Same thing with, at least the first season, because I didn't like the second, I didn't even watch the third season, of, what was that called? Shit! It was Bill Pullman. Fuck. It was also a police show.
Was he acting in it?
Yes, Bill Pullman.
Was it? No, that's a movie.
It was like every season was a new case. The Sinner, yes. Oh. There, of course, yeah. The cop is. No, there's a girl cop as well. A female cop.
Well, the main guy is Harry Ambrose, though.
Yes.
Bill Pullman. But I'm guessing Jessica Hecht. She's only in 12 episodes.
Yeah, but that's because some characters don't come back for season 2 and season 3. I think only Bill Pullman is the one that is in every season.
Okay, so I'm guessing it's Jessica Hecht then.
Yeah.
No, because she was in seasons
2021. Yeah,
from 2020 to 2021.
That's 20.
Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel is the show is about Jessica Biel, who just like out of nowhere just freaks out and starts stabbing a guy when she's at the beach with her family, and they start like they book her, of course, because she's attacked someone.
Yeah, for aggravated assault.
But then the show deals in like them, Bill Pullman specifically, like reaching into her past, looking into like why would she do this? Like, sure, she
why did she snap?
She committed a crime, but we got to find out why, because there's something else going on here, and we find out stuff about her as a character. Very interesting characters. Both Bill Pullman and Jessica Biel's character, and the other cop. God damn it.
Abby Miller must be the one.
Yes, I think it's her. Yeah, I haven't seen it since like 2017.
So she's in season 1, episode 1 through 8.
Yes, then it's her. Yeah, and it's interesting characters. I mean, not on the same level. Mare of Easttown, not either. Not on the same level as True Detective season 1, but I mean, it's more interesting, I think.
Well,
that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
We'll have to see what's the episode 2. I mean, maybe it is a case of freaking She-Hulk or whatever.
Yeah, I hope not.
And we give up after one. Well, no, 2 episodes.
We kind of gave up halfway through the pilot of that show.
That's true. Or the Continental, where we gave up after 1 episode.
God, yes. No, this is definitely better than that. Definitely.
Yes.
And I want to reiterate that I'm still interested enough. I don't think it is terrible. There's just a lot of nitpicks for me, especially since I'm comparing it to the first season.
Season 1 a lot.
But yeah,
which I didn't when I watched the first episode. So obviously, if you don't, it's not as bad.
No.
You couldn't make the little Lone Star whatever beer can thingy. Jesus Christ,
my God. Dude.
That's it, though.
That's gonna be it. Sorry, we went way over. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to listen to us shit on She-Hulk, that is one of the few like exclusive episodes of this cast. It's available on patreon.com/DomeMakeAScene. But there we'll also get our exclusive episodes of the spoiler cast. You'll get some early access stuff. There's even some other video stuff. Check it out, $3 a month. Other than that, subscribe on YouTube. We do dedicated video podcasts now. I try to edit as much as possible that whatever time I have. So
we'll see how long that sticks around.
Yeah, exactly.
The audio will always be available.
Audio will always be available on all major streaming platforms. And we will see you next week for episode 2 of Night Country. But until then, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.